one of the best traders that we've had at Alpha Capital with over $150,000 in payouts.
I remember coming home from work one day. I was working in a care home at the time, and I was just literally scrolling through Instagram, and then someone's reel came up as an ad, like talking about how much money you can make through Forex trading. And I thought, what the hell's Forex trading? I went in with some 10k challenges, bought it up until I reached 100,000 accounts, bought a 200k account. Most of my profits were from a 200,000 account. I think the biggest one I did was just over 30,000 in one payout.
Wow.
But yeah, I think it was just over 3,000 I've lost on that one trade. But I was so excited for that payout, I just kept chasing that loss, and it just kept getting deeper and deeper. I think 10% of trading is strategies and analysis, but 90% of it is trading and knowing yourself as a person and just managing your trades.
Wow. If you could go back in time and give your starting self 5 years ago a piece of advice, what would you give them? What would you do differently?
But I think every good trader needs to have these moments in their trading journey.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to the Alpha Capital YouTube channel for another amazing podcast. Today, I'm very excited about this one because we've got Gretta, who is one of the best traders that we've had at Alpha Capital with over $150,000 in payouts. And we're going to hear her story and figure out how she did it. So Gretta, thank you so much for coming in today.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting.
No, you're very welcome. So let's start at the very beginning because that is the best place to start a story. How did you find out about trading in the first place, and what were you doing at the time?
So I remember coming home from work one day. I was working in a care home at the time, and I was just literally scrolling through Instagram as you do, like quiet evening at home, cup of tea, Instagram, just scrolling, and then someone's reel came up as an ad, like talking about how much money you can make through Forex trading. And I thought, what the hell's Forex trading?
Yeah.
So I just looked at her page. She looked really good, and then I messaged her, got in touch with her, got into this group, which was kind of like a educational / signal group. So they did a lot of education, which was great.
Okay.
And they also had a part where it's like signals. So I did their signals for a little while. Didn't really make too much money out of it. I think I made like £50, maybe, if that, at a point. But the education part was amazing. And that was probably the biggest take I can take from that group is the education now, because I still adapt a lot of what they're taught in that group now to like my current trading. So basically Instagram reels, and just got in touch with this woman who ran a women's only actually trading group.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. I think she had a partner she was running it with, but all the members of the group were women, which was amazing as well, because obviously you didn't have the kind of like guy aspect of it all. As a woman, it felt like a very male dominated environment, so it was really nice going into it knowing it was only going to be women that I'm talking to.
Yeah.
And then it was actually them that I found out about Alpha Capital as well.
It's funny, guys, I think we're all right, but on the internet we're not the best. I have to say, like, sometimes we'll be in a trading community and like it's just a bunch of guys, and it can get a little bit toxic sometimes. And there'll be one member in there who's like a girl, and everyone finds out it's a girl, and I'm like, oh no, just guys, do better. Do you know what I mean? So no, I do think that it is one of those times where I think having a women's only community probably is a good thing, as far as just having it really conducive to a nice, healthy environment.
It was a really nice way to be introduced to the trading community without meeting the egos of the men first.
Yeah. No,
to be fair, like the men themselves haven't been too bad. Like obviously since I've left that group and joined Alpha Capital's Discord group, like there's a lot of men on there.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been too bad. There's maybe odd one or two, but they've been quickly dealt with, so it hasn't been terrible.
That's good, I know. Now shout out to the mods.
Yes, exactly.
The Alpha mods are good, man. They run a tight ship.
Yeah.
So as far as the education goes, the strategy that you initially learnt from them, is that really what's built the fundamentals of what you're doing now?
Pretty much, yeah. They focused a lot on support and resistance and trend lines and the moving averages, which is what I use now. Again, I do eyeball it a lot. I've adapted my own risk management rules to that strategy, and I've added a couple of things on it, but mainly stayed the same throughout all the years I've traded, really.
That's so incredible. Yeah. That's so unusual, honestly. Yeah. Like, you're one of the only traders I've ever met that...
I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I've tried different strategies. I haven't always just stuck to that one. That one's always been in the background, whether I was trying other strategies, because I always found that one the easiest to work with. But I have tried other ones. It's not so much that they weren't effective. It was just I found that one the easiest to work with, and I feel like if you click with the strategy, you might as well stick with it.
Yeah, no, that's so true. I think we have this tendency to try and think...
Be fancy about it.
Yeah. And it's not even just being fancy. It's like we think that there is some secret source, right? That there is this, if I just learn this one little trick, then I'll get a 95% win rate at 1 to 10 risk reward.
I personally think trading isn't about the strategy. There's so many strategies that are all so effective but can be ruined by psychology straight away. I think 10% of trading is strategies and analysis, but 90% of it is trading and knowing yourself as a person and just managing your trades.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you started off with this particular group, and you said you sort of did a bit of signals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where did you sort of go from there, or how long were you with them, or what made you decide to kind of try other things? Or
So I was with them for about a year. They actually, I think for the last 4 months I was in a group, they'd actually had me as one of the members that were sharing their signals. And that was the point for me. I did it for a couple of months, and I didn't really feel comfortable with that. I kind of wanted to just do my own thing and trade without the pressure of knowing that there's about 100 people that are relying on my signals to make a current trade. It was just, I found my trading affected too much by it, which is, again, why I don't really understand signals groups too much now, because knowing what I know now, to me, a signal group is like you're putting so much pressure on yourself where you could just be trading profitably. But that was the point that made me want to leave the group, because I felt bad saying I don't want to share signals anymore. I'm just going to stay in the group and stick to whatever we're doing. And at that point, the atmosphere of the group changed, as they do. Like, nothing ever stays the same. So I decided to just leave that group, just stick to my own thing, stick with Alpha Capital, do the challenges, try and make some money, and the rest is history.
Yeah, and it's funny you said they introduced you to Alpha Capital in that first group. Like, you've been trading with Alpha for a long time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Wow. And I guess how did it start at the beginning versus how it's sort of gone? I mean, did you just sort of think, go in with, get a 10k challenge or something like that and go up from there, or did you sort of go in with like bigger challenges? Or
so when I first started, I started off with demo accounts, actually, like their first free trial Alpha Capital accounts. Try and develop a bit of a risk management strategy rather than an actual strategy, because my strategy I felt was fine. It was more the risk management of it all.
Okay.
So I did that for a few months. Then I went in with some 10k challenges, brought it up to, whenever I got a payout, I'd saved up just enough to buy another one until I reached 100,000 accounts. Reached a couple of payouts on 100,000 accounts. I think I scaled up the first 100,000 accounts a couple of times. Bought a 200k account, and then on it went. Most of my profits were from a 200,000 account. I think the biggest one I did was just over 30,000 in one payout. That was a really, really good month, to be fair.
Wow.
But the last few months haven't been as ludicrous. Like, they've been a bit more settled and whatnot. But so it's like that. To be fair, I've blown so many accounts over the years. Like, if you go on my Alpha Capital history, there's just account upon account upon account. So it took a long time to get to a point where I wasn't just blowing accounts, like getting one payout, blowing an account, getting another payout. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm kind of stunned, to be honest, because you actually did it the right way. I don't think anyone ever does, which is get a free trial first, go through those a bit, then get like a 5k or 10k, then whatever payout you get from that, use to get.
Yeah.
Man, it's funny because like so many people are like so impatient, and that it really is it, you know.
I think a lot of the times people don't actually realise that real live trading on your own account or demo account, whatever you're using, like a paper account or anything, and then going into a prop account, you've got rules to stick by that you don't have when you're not trading with a prop account. And that, I think, kind of catches a lot of traders out, because they're not used to the whole 5 daily risk management. They're not used to the whole, there's some rules like no niche trading, no account holding over the weekend or overnight. And it throws you out of comfort zone when you're coming from a real life account or a paper account into a prop account, and then all of a sudden you're trying to stick by all these rules, and your strategy just changes completely.
Oh, completely, 100%. I mean, I think doing a demo account It's really good.
Yep.
And I think then getting like either like a 5k or a 10k. In fact, if it's still running, code 10k for 40 or whatever. Maybe I'll put it on the screen or in the description. But you can get a 10k challenge for $40. For $40 to get a 10k challenge,
Yeah.
just get your feet wet, you know.
Yeah.
And like so many people are like, and I've already said this to you. Like, my first ever challenge was a 200k, right? I just went straight in there, and it's just not the way to do it.
No,
it's just not the way to do it.
I think you're definitely best off trying with the free trial accounts on Alpha Capital.
Yeah.
Just getting the hang of the rules that are in place and then going in with a real account, because like I said, like the whole having to manage these rules that are set out by a prop firm for the trader's benefit, but it changes your strategy, and you kind of have to adapt that before you're going ahead and spending money to pass these accounts.
Exactly.
So otherwise, I just think it's a waste of money. Like you're going in, but basically no strategy, because that's what you're doing. If you're not adapting your strategy to the rules of the prop firm, you're going in with no strategy.
That is so true.
Yeah.
That is such a good point. And that is the thing that so many people will. I mean, you know, I hear people sort of moaning and complaining and saying, oh, you know, I didn't get this payout from Alpha and they denied this payout, or I got this breach. And I'm always just like, yeah, but what did you do though? And they're always like, oh yeah, well, you know, I went over the max lot size, blah, 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 blah. Or I'm like, well, yeah, that's why then.
And I mean,
right?
it's also possible to break like soft breach rules accidentally. Like I've had payouts rejected because I've like traded over news at one point by accident without realizing there was news.
Yeah.
The people that are going on Trustpilot and like my payout's been rejected, like just go and find out why.
Yeah.
And you'll soon see like you're not following the rules correctly, which again, like I said, like if you're going into a prop firm without getting used to the rules first on a free trial account, you're going in with no strategy. You're either not going to get paid out, or you're just going to get max breach daily loss.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And it's just that greed. Because if I say to someone, do a free trial and then like just get a 10k and then
they just want to get paid
get
tomorrow,
that first
don't they?
payout. You know, if you get a 10k and you make like 10% on it, so you make $1,000, and then you get an 80% payout split, you think, oh, you make $800, right?
Yeah.
People are thinking, yeah, but if that was a 100k account, that would be $8,000. It's like, no, that's not the point, because you're not going to pass it if it's a 100k account. Like, you're probably just going to blow it. So just start off small, get used to trading with a prop firm, like you say, adapt to the rules and know what your risk management and stuff is. And once you get to a stage where you can get consistent payouts on a 10k account, then
go ahead
run
and
it
scale
up.
up. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, incredible. So, I mean, I'm still just very impressed that you had this, what people would think is sort of too simple of a strategy at the start. What gave you the confidence to stick with that? Like, did you see other people in the community that were successful with it, or did you see success early on with it and it was sort of vibing with you? Or was it something you struggled with at first?
Yeah, I did have a lot of, like, a big case of beginner's luck to start with. Yeah. And I think that's, I don't know why, but I just feel like I struggle to move away from that strategy. Because I've tried, like, I've tried other strategies. I've learned about ICD, tried that. I was like, no, I want to go back to my simple support and resistance, draw a trend line, draw a moving average, and just stick with that. Because I did have a lot of success with it from the get-go. The times that I've blown up challenges, it wasn't because my strategy didn't work. It was because my risk management and psychology failed. So yeah, it was more the focus on like having to manage my risk strategy and my psychology and mindset, rather than having to change the actual strategy itself, because it's been tested and proven. Like, why change what works?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And what was that real kind of moment from, you said you'd sort of like get a payout and maybe blow one, and get a payout and maybe blow one, like, to actually kind of getting consistency to the point of like, I guess learning from mistakes or improving generally? Like, what kind of got you past that?
I think my biggest turning point, and I'm pretty sure I probably told you this already, it was when I lost 300,000 account like 2 days after having passed it. And it was, I passed a 100,000 account at first, scaled that up a couple of times, and then I went ahead and with the profits that I made from the 100,000 account bought a 200,000 evaluation. passed that, and then I'd obviously emailed the team like, can you merge these two accounts? Got so excited, but I was like, I'm gonna make like, because I've been at that point, I think I was pretty consistent at making 10% on each payout.
Yeah.
The payouts went like every 2 weeks, because Alpha have bi-weekly payouts. I wouldn't get paid every 2 weeks, but every time I would get paid, it would be about 10%. So I was like, this is great. I've got 300,000 account. 10% of that's 30 grand. Yeah. I'm just gonna make that. Scale up again, and yeah, the first day I was on the account, I made a losing trade. Like it was a simple 1% loss. I think it was just over 3,000. I've lost on that one trade, but I was so excited for that payout. I just kept chasing that loss, and it just kept getting deeper and deeper. And in the end, I wasn't reached out because of the max daily loss. I was reached out because of the maximum loss, because I just kept trying to chase that trade.
Wow.
And I literally, all of the strategy went out the window. All of the risk management went out the window. Like everything just went. It was full on chasing mode. So that was the point where I really sat down. Like, you need to get comfortable with taking a loss and leaving it for the day, rather than losing sleep over or trying to chase it back.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to learn from other people's mistakes. I would love to be able to learn from other people's mistakes.
I knew of stories that happened like that, though. You know about these things, but you're like, it's not going to happen to me. Like, I'm the exception.
Yeah.
And then it happens to you, and you're like crushed. But I think every good trader needs to have these moments in their trading journey.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have mistakes, or you don't have these bad phases or periods, like, I'm not always good. Like, I have months or weeks sometimes where I don't make a profit because it's just not going that well. But I think every good trader just needs to be able to live with that, rather than trying to chase what isn't there.
Yeah, completely. And that is the thing, you know, if you, when you take a trade, or you take a loss, you feel it personally, and you start getting, oh man, we can turn from a very rational, methodical, disciplined trader to suddenly just
going crazy.
I know, by the time the smoke's cleared and you're like, oh, I blacked out for a second, and you're looking like, how did I just take 6 losses within half an hour? Like, just machine gunning it.
I just sat back and I just like, what the hell have I just done?
Yeah.
Like, what was all that about?
It's crazy. It's just like, there's so little actual processing going on in your brain at that point, and it's just instinct.
Yeah.
And like now, if I take a loss, I have a timer that I set, and it's 5 minutes. Now, I know that 5 minutes isn't a very long time, but trust me, I can find a new trade in less than 5 minutes, Gretta. Don't you worry.
I don't even think it's just to let your head clear a little bit. Like, even that 5 minutes, like, it might not sound like a lot, but it will make you think a little bit more rationally than you were the minute you lost that trade. Yeah. Because that's what you find half the time. Like, you lose the trade, the next minute you're in another one, but like, you've not even thought about it. Yeah. So yeah, like, I think you just need. It's not even finding a trade. I think you can always find the trade. It depends on what you're trading. Obviously, if it's more volatile or a little bit more like sweeping But it's more like finding the time to let your brain settle from the last loss before you enter another trade.
No, honestly, the number of times where I look at days where I've had a really bad day, and it's like, I look, because you can see the execution as an MT5, and it's like, I got in there, got stopped out there, got in there. Yeah. And then got stopped out there, but got in there. Yeah. And I'm like, it's like a daisy chain of entries, and I'm like, what am I doing? Yeah. What I do now is, if I take a loss, I take a deep breath, and I am honest with myself, and I'm like, am I annoyed right now? Because sometimes you take a loss and you're like, yeah, it's fine. Like, genuinely, it's like, it's fine that all the setup, and it was fine, and I feel fine, and it doesn't bother me. It's a water off duck's back. Fine. Then you can continue trading. Now it's like, am I annoyed? If the answer is yes, I need to wait till I'm not annoyed anymore.
Don't trade.
That's it. Simple as that. And they say that because your brain has like the fight or flight kind of animal brain, which is doing that really just instinctual, reactive stuff without actually thinking about it. Apparently, it takes 5 minutes for the blood to get back into the correct part of your brain. Okay. After that, so I set my timer for 5 minutes. I close my damn eyes. And I breathe, and I have to wait until my heart rate gets back under 80 beats per minute, and then I can trade again, because that means the blood's back in the right part of my brain. I can actually think, because otherwise you're not actually thinking, you're just reacting, right? And it's that time you realise that you're not a robot. You know,
I feel like I have to try and go do something else before I take another trade, and let my brain focus on another task before I let it go back into the trading mode, because even like I don't know how it works for you, but if you're sitting there for 5 minutes, you're still reflecting back on the last trade if you're not doing anything else.
Yeah.
So I think myself personally, I would just literally hibernate, thinking about what did I do wrong, what like it's probably going to reverse.
Yeah.
So I feel like I have to either go clean the house or do some other work or do some studying, just let my brain focus on something else before I just go in with a fresh perspective for another trade.
I think that's such a good idea, and I do think that there's a lot of people that trade like higher time frames, and they sort of say, "Oh, I get more success in higher time frames because of this reason or that reason, or like the price action's cleaner on these time frames." I honestly think it's just the fact that you have to wait.
Yeah, it forces you literally
4 hours. Like if you trade the 4 hour time frame and you take a loss, you got to wait at least 4 hours.
Yeah,
at least 4 hours until the next trade,
yeah.
right? So you have to chill out for a bit.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're trading like the 1 minute chart, wow, like you can spiral like crazy. Like there's a new candle every minute, and every candle has a new opportunity. Wow, that candle looks so bullish.
Yeah.
Though. I know we're going down, but look at that pin
it's
bar.
so engulfing.
I know. Oh my gosh. And I think that is the thing, like trading on lower time frames intraday is like you have to be so honest with yourself. Like, am I actually seeing a trade here, or am I just seeing red because I've just got hit? And it's taking it to the next level. But no, I do think that there's so much to be said for just having a strategy that has worked for you for such a long time, and then just not getting in your own way, right? And letting it actually kind of play out, right? So, okay, 300k account got wiped the next day.
Yeah.
How did you sort of come back from that? Like,
I took a couple of weeks to sit back and let myself stop reeling from the massive loss.
Yeah.
And then just bought another 100k. I'd saved up enough to buy like a 200k account again, but I just felt because I'd just lost a massive account, if I go in with another big account, I'm probably going to make the same mistake again. So I just kind of went in with a 100k account and went back up from there.
Good.
Since then, I haven't been too bothered about earning a 300k account again. I feel like I had more success with the smaller 100k or 200k accounts. So I just didn't feel the need to try and scale it up. So I never asked them to again. Whether I had a 100k account or a 200k account, I've never asked them to merge it again. I just stuck with them.
Really?
Like, just to have one as a backup at least.
Yeah, I mean that is the thing, right? At least you've got something sort of.
Yeah.
If one did blow, you can kind of have one to tie you over, which does make sense. But I think you've got it in you to have a 300k again one day.
I think the PTSD might be a bit much.
So it still hurt. Yeah.
No, it's definitely a goal again. I just think if I'm comfortable with trading with just a 200k account or a 100k account again now, why would I change that really?
Oh,
I think my payouts kind of speak for themselves.
Exactly.
At this point.
I was going to say you're doing just fine.
Yeah.
Also, I love being a trader. It's like, well, with just a 200k account, it's like
I know we talk about it like it's not nothing at all.
It's crazy.
Is it?
It still blows my mind.
Weird,
right? It's actually incredible. But I mean, 150k in payouts. Like you are actually one of Alpha's highest paid out traders over a long period of time. Like that 100k club is like a massive deal to make it to that point. So.
I didn't even know it was a thing until I got put in it. I think I think at that point I was at 135 something k profit. Yeah. But I took a massive break from Discord, and then I came back, and Lucas actually, he's like one of the closest modders that I would talk to all the time.
Yeah.
And I popped that back on this Discord like very randomly. I can't remember what I said, and then all of a sudden there's this 100 little number next to my name. I was like, Lucas, what is this? He's like, you haven't have 100k club? I didn't even know that was a thing. Yeah. It's
a very prestigious club.
Apparently, I think I remember saying like, is there any pros to being in a 100k club? It's like, no, you just look cool.
Yeah, bragging rights, man. That's it. It's just clout.
Yeah.
But I mean, speaking of that, to be fair, like. I think it's important to celebrate these kind of wins, right? And you can kind of look at a tag like that, and it's not so much about showing off, right? It's not so much about like, the clout of it looking cool, which it kind of does, but it's like that's a badge of honor, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
because proof of hard work.
Yeah, and like you've come through the battlefields of like we know what trading's like, when
Yeah.
the pain, just the agony of all these losses and this blown this and that, and the self-doubt and can I do this, and years and years and years. I mean, you've been trading for what, 5 years, 6 years, like
That was coming up to 7 now.
yeah, right. And you've made it out the other side, right? And the thing is, it's funny, we were talking earlier, like you still feel like a newbie in certain senses, right? You still feel like there's so much more that you can grow from and learn.
Even though I've made a decent amount out of it, I never still feel like I've made it. Like this is where it is. Like I think there's just so much more you can work for in everything in life. To be fair, not just trading, but yeah, it's like I've never sat there like, right, I've made this much. I've definitely made it now. Like literally never sat there and thought that at all.
I don't think anyone ever feels like that.
No, probably not.
I don't think in trading, because the thing with trading is, unfortunately, like it's uncapped, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like the upside is uncapped. Like that you can do crazy things trading, and you will. So watch this space, man. I'm excited for it. But I think even just having like these little badges of honor, I was thinking about it the other day and stuff. It's like when you've always got something else to chase and always got some other goal to try and head for, and you think, okay, well, what's next? I want to try and get this. I want to achieve that.
Yeah.
To just kind of stop and appreciate and smell the roses and be like, I'm in the 100K club, right? Or just like look at, I mean, you 5 years ago, if they could see where you are now, man, they would be so proud. And it is important to kind of remember that sometimes, right?
I think, and I think especially with trading, you've got to have a goal to work towards, and when you reach that goal, you just got to have your next one. Because I think trading with no goal in mind is such a sinkhole. I've done it a couple of times. I think I remember when I was trading my 200K account at one point, and I literally wouldn't have a target profit in my mind at all. I'm just going to keep going until my payout and lose all of it. But the bigger things, like once I reach 100K, I need to sit down and reevaluate as to where you are, and then keep like reaching for your next goal. Like on the next 50,000 account, I want to see what I'm going to go in the future, because like trading mindlessly is just, like I said, like a sinkhole. Like you're going to lose so much you've worked for just because you were trying to get another little bit of profit that you could have just closed at that point.
Yeah. So how do you go about setting goals and targets and stuff like that?
So in my current trading strategy, I have a 2% target profit a day that I try and reach. If I don't reach it, it's fine. But then if I reach, like, say I was trading on a 200,000 account and I was going for 4,000 a day, and I'd made 3,568 or something. I'm not going to enter a trade just to make $400 to make the 2% to call it a day. Like I will just call it a day. But then again, having that target helps, because I could have been like, I could make another $2,000 today, and then another $2,000, and then lose 15.
Yes.
Because even having that I don't know why I keep saying 400, 4,000 a day goal. Like once you reach 3,500, you're like, is it really worth risking 200K for 400 profit? Like, no, probably not.
That's a really good way of thinking about it.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, there's risk management and trade management and all that stuff when it comes to each individual trade, but then you've got the risk management of the account, right? Yeah. And that is an important thing of setting targets that make sense.
Yeah.
I, for one, am inspired, Greta, I have to say. I think you're crushing it. It's incredible. And it's just, there's so many people that get into trading. Like when I first started trading, you see like the yachts and the Lambos and stuff, and you're like, this looks easy. Yeah. You know, I'm going to be, a multimillionaire in about 3 weeks, right? And then you kind of, that's the first bit, is you have this sort of enthusiasm, and then you hit the peak of disillusionment where you're just like, I don't know, it seems like it's all just scammy and no one's actually making money and they're all just selling fake signals, and you get to a stage where you're like, is this even possible, even profitable? And like I said before, man, like there was some post on Alpha's Instagram or maybe like one of these like sort of prop firm comparison Instagram, stuff like that, and just talking about Alpha and the promos, and like get some comment where it's like, Alpha scam firm, they don't pay, and I'm like, they do pay actually. Like I speak to traders every single week that have done some incredible things, and it's just so important for people to remember, like, this can be done. And you are just such a good example of like what is actually possible, like doing this, and it's so cool. It's so cool.
Yeah, like trading definitely humbles you. I will say that. Like going into the bit, I was like everyone else, like I'm gonna make so much money in the next like month even, and be able to quit job to do what I want with my life. And I did do that for a year. Like I did trade full time from home, and it was the worst experience of my life, to be honest. Like I hated just being at home and literally doing nothing else but trading. I didn't feel like I had anything to even get out of bed for, because I make money. I can make money from bed, and have my breakfast in bed, like do everything in bed basically.
Wow.
I even went out and got a dog to keep myself like grounded, and to actually go out for a walk in the morning and walk the dog and like spend some time with him. And in the end, when it came to the end of that year, like I'm going back to work. Like this is absolutely insane. I had money to spare. Like I could always keep myself occupied that way, but everyone's at work. Like I had too much free time on my hands. I was constantly texting my friend, like, what you guys up to? Like I'm at work. Like great. Like I've worked for 1 hour today. Now I'm bored. Like literally.
Wow.
So yeah, like it was literally the worst experience of my life. But it also taught me to like put savings away, because when I first started making all these profits, I was literally buying like, I want a new car, I want a new phone, I want a new this. I think my first payout I spent in like 3 days.
Wow.
And it wasn't even a small one. I think it was like my first payout with Helper was like 7,000 or something. And I literally spent it in like 3 days. It was insane.
Wow.
So yeah, definitely humbled, like being from home, knowing I didn't have any source of income apart from trading. So like I'd better be careful in case I don't have a good month to start putting money away. And then the amounts that I was spending at the start of the trading journey are actually way more than what I spend now. And I've done way better now, but I spend so much less. Like I don't spend any more than an average working person.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, the thing is, that is the sensible thing, right? And I think it's so easy to, you know, so someone will be, they'll get like a 15k payout, and then they'll spend 12.5 of it on a watch. Yeah. Because like they're sort of made it now. It's like, no.
It's your first payout, which is normally the downfall, not the upwards.
I know, that's it. You don't need to be doing that. And it's so funny when you say that, because like everyone thinks like full-time trading is the dream. Yeah. But
I mean, for some people it might be. I had a great time for the first few months. I just got bored.
Got bored of it, yeah.
Yeah, it was I got an allotment during that time to keep myself busy. I still have it now, but that was the main point of when I actually started getting bored.
And an allotment. Did you become a full-time trader, or did you retire?
I think I retired. Also when my book addiction got worse as well. I think in the year that I was working from home, I read 150 books.
I was going to ask about this, because you've got your Goodreads in your bio, and I was like, this girl's read 200 books?
Yeah.
It's giving Ty Lopez.
Most of that was during that year from trading.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, you acquired a lot of knowledge in that time, I suppose, at least. I mean...
Yeah, there weren't very educational books, to be fair.
Just like fantasy.
Fantasy, a bit of everything, really. I mean, I've read some educational books, don't get me wrong. Like, most of the education stuff that I learn from is either whatever I'm studying at the time, because I like to keep busy that way. And also YouTube. Like, YouTube is a great source of information, as long as you fact check it before you actually use it.
Yeah, completely.
But yeah, no, like I just had way too much spare times on my hands, and that's also when my trading took a hit as well, because I was sat at home bored, opening up my laptop, just seeing trades that weren't actually there.
Yeah.
And
I think as well, it's not just the boredom, but like being like, I need to trade or else I will not have money.
Yeah, or I'm not paying bills. Yeah,
it's
basically.
like, that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself, man. And like, you know, I do think that even if trading is the vast majority of your income, it's probably still worth having a job just to like
100%.
have a buffer.
I would never recommend trading just having as your main. No matter what you did, like you could have invest back into properties or something. At least that is better than having just one source of income, which is trading. Yeah. Because no matter how good of a trader you are, there are always going to be times where you're not making anything. Like you could break even for 3 months and then make 50 grand another month. Yeah. But what are you doing in those 3 months where you're breaking even? Like, how are you paying your bills? Unless you're saving your money, which a sensible person would hopefully do.
Yes. Which we don't tend to do.
Not every trader does, unfortunately.
I know.
But yeah, what you're doing in those 3 months, or like it could even be a year. Like I had a phase, I think the longest time I broke even was like 6 months or something. Like I'd
Wow.
make like $800 profit in 1 month and then lose it again next month.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are you doing in those 6 months if you're not working? Your main income is trading. Like, how are you paying your bills?
Man, I'm just, every time you say something, I'm just like really just inspired, because you're like, you've gone, you're saying, oh, I'll sort of have a break even for 6 months. Greta, if most people had a break even 6 months, they would scrap their strategy. They would be like, this doesn't work. It's a scam. Let me join this person's mentorship. Like, to go through a 6 month break even streak and still be like, I'm still assured that I know what I'm doing. That is the sign of someone who's been trading for 5, 6, 7 years. Like that's all it comes down to. And that is just something that you can't teach, right? You can't teach that. It just has to be experience. This thing of like, because I mean, I've been there, man. Like I'd sort of try a bit of this, try a bit of that, and like the way I've been trading now, so it's just been the same for like 2 years, right? And it doesn't mean that I don't have losing days. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But it's one of these things where, I don't think there's a shortcut for that. No. I think that's what you've said there is purely just a testament to your experience. Yeah. And you have to just go through these periods of like sticking with it and knowing that in the long term it's going to play out. I think strategy hopping, like, you're constantly learning something new, so how are you getting comfortable with the one strategy that you're using all the time? So I think I've gotten to a point now where like I trade one asset, one strategy, which I've been doing for the last 6 years, and at this point it literally is just second nature. Like, you're always going to have bad days. It isn't always going to work. Like, sometimes you're just going to get tested left, right and centre with it. But if you're hopping strategy to strategy to strategy, how are you forming that second nature to be able not to think about your strategy too much and just do what you do? Like, I don't get strategy hoppers that much. Honestly, it's so funny because this is usually the point where I would ask something along the lines of, if you could go back in time and give your starting self 5 years ago a piece of advice, what would you give them? What would you do differently? But you seem to, I dare say, it seems to me that you've basically kind of done it all right up to this point. Like, genuinely, like, of everyone that I've ever spoken to, with a few exceptions, I mean, you found a strategy, you stuck with it, you started with a demo account, you got a 10k account, you scaled up from there. You actually have managed to be trading for 6-7 years and not actually do anything that stupid. I'm very, very impressed. Oh no, don't get me wrong, I've done stupid things. Like, that's like my risk management, like I said, has always been the biggest problem. Like, I'd always risk 4% to make 1% at one point. Okay. So that was like the biggest short backs to my trading at the time. And even the 6 months that I was breaking even, a lot of it was risk management issues. Like, my risk to reward ratio was non-existent. I was risking like, I don't know, 3,000, 4,000 to make 1,000 because I'd be too scared to let the trade play out. So it took a long time to get comfortable to a point where I'm like, right, I'm comfortable risking a tighter stop loss for a bigger profit. It was always the tight stop losses that held me back a lot of the time. Okay, you were letting the trade sort of breathe too much? Or, yes, basically. Yeah. And what do you think that was? It was just sort of like fear of being wrong or fear of those little losses and you're like... Yeah, it was literally not being comfortable taking a loss. Like, every time I took a loss, it was like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Even though I think at that point I'd already made like 50,000, I was still like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing because my trades just keep closing out. And then the most annoying thing would happen is they would reverse right back up. So I was right, I just didn't have my stop loss right. And that's always happened so often. I think 80% of my stop losses that have happened have reversed right back round at that point. So it was literally like, right, you either need to stop and think about where you're setting your stop loss, you're clearly setting it too tight, or just, just let it play out. Yeah. But yeah, it was ridiculous. Like, the amount of time doing that 6 months break even, like, I would have made so much money if my stop loss was like 10 pips lower. It was, wow. And I guess having that kind of self-reflection and going back through all those trades and figuring that out, that's why the thing that actually helped me get out of it was the risk management group and Alpha. Shout out to the risk management group, man. They get a lot of flack. All right. They get slated a lot, but
that was what made me come comfortable with losses and stop losses. It was being put in a risk management group at Alpha Capital, because I'd always been a very aggressive trader. Like my risk to reward ratio, like I said, has always been abysmal. Yeah. Like sometimes I sit back like, how the hell did I make all that profit risking the amount that I do to make that tiny, like, award. But yeah, it was when they put, I think like on one of my accounts, I'd made 3 consecutive losses of like 3% or something, and I was already in profit, so I hadn't lost my account, but I was getting there from like 5% profit to then I was, I think, 6% drawdown.
Yeah.
And then I got myself back up to break even. The next couple of days I made some profit, requested it with Alpha, and then they sent me an email like, you are now in a risk management group. And at that point, I really, really had to adapt my strategies. Like, right, I'm only allowed to risk 1% on one trade, and I have to wait an hour between each trade. And that really made a turning point in my whole, like, that's when I started making, like, real money, really. It's after I was put in that risk management group.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
That is amazing. That is brilliant. No, because, again, this is one of those things, man. Like, people say, like, oh, the risk management group is just there to, like, sort of stifle. Just don't risk. Again, there's a guy that sort of messaged me recently, man, and shout out to this guy. He's a great trader, right? He's a great trader. He trades with Alpha, and he's great. Like I've not a bad word to say about the guy, but he was saying recently, sort of complaining because he's like, I've been put in the risk management group and stuff like that, and he's like, I had this problem where I was only allowed to risk 1%, but because there was like some sort of like spike. Like this, I got some slippage and stuff, and it was like more than 1%. And I'm like, just risk 0.5%, bro. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like, there's like a 20 lot limit on the account now or whatever. And
to be fair, I never came anywhere near close
That's
to that.
What I'm
saying.
Because
I trade gold.
Yeah.
It's really hard to reach a 20 lot limit and not lose your account.
I know. But if someone wants to see us going 1,200 lots on gold, they can watch the video we just shot. Anyway.
Not recommended to do at home, by the way.
100%. Yeah. But no, this is one of those things, right? Is that if you're profitable and it's like, okay, the max is like, 20 lots or whatever, risk 10, man.
Yeah.
If it's like, I'm in the risk management group and I'm going to risk 1%, risk 0.5%.
Yeah, I think a lot of people forget, like...
You can make a lot of money risking 0.5%.
You can make a lot of money risking 0.2%.
As
long as you're not losing more than you're making, which is what draws a lot of people back. Like, even on a 100k account, you could make so much money. Like, considering your 1% is 1,000, that is most people's like nearly a monthly wage.
Exactly.
And you're risking that in one trade. As long as you're making more in one day at least, and then the next day I was like using that, like, just the risk to reward ratio is just so important, and it took me a long time to come to terms with that.
Yeah.
Like, I never thought it too relevant. As long as I win more, I'll make enough money and stuff like that. But like that one stop loss could wipe you out of like 4 days work.
Yeah.
So it's always important to just make sure your losses are tighter. And with the 0.5%, like, if it's going to mean that you get one more day of not reaching the 5 daily limit or the 10 maximum loss limit, like, it's worth doing. Yeah. And a lot of people say, oh, it's going to take longer to make the money that I want to make, but it's going to take longer if you lose more than what you were willing to risk anyway. Yeah. So you might as well just do it the right way.
Yeah, 100%. And I do think that it's just about capital, right? Yeah. That's the point. If you risk 0.5%, but you can do that on a 200k account or a 300k account,
and not lose it in 2 days.
Then that's plenty, right?
Yeah.
That is plenty. So it just comes down to that whole thing of just having the right capital, managing it properly, and that's
it's also playing the long game. Like, trading is not a get rich quick scheme. Like, you've got to have patience to get to a point where you want to be comfortable.
I remember when I started trading, and everyone was like, trading's not a get rich quick scheme, and I was like, but I want to get rich quick so bad.
Yeah. And I think if that's, so I would say to a lot of traders going into trading, if that's your mindset, take a break and come back later.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, what they do as well is they have these little amounts of money that they are spending on trading, but what they're essentially doing is gambling. So you might as well just go to a casino and put it all on red.
Yeah.
because they're like, oh, I need to make the bills. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go take a trade and literally use all of their money that they have.
Yeah.
And then getting into debt, trying to trade. I think if that's your mindset, just come back later. Like, trading's not for you if you're going to just gamble.
Yeah.
Which is really sad because trading has got such a big stigma around it as being gambling.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it right, it's really not. But I think these people that are going in with like all they have, put it on one trade, like 50 lots on a 50,000 account. I don't even actually know if that's possible, really.
Someone's would try it.
Probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like to literally do that and then, oh, trading's a scam because I lost money. But like you literally put everything you had on that one bet. Like just gambled it and put it all on red.
I remember it was the golden age of crypto and NFTs, man. It was like 2021 or something fantastic like that. And people were buying all these amazing JPEGs of monkeys for obscene amounts of money. I was on some weird little crypto project that I found, and like I was like, oh, do you know what? Like it looks like it might go okay. Let me just chuck like a couple of hundred quid into it, right? Spoiler alert, Greta. It went to zero.
Yes.
Right? But I remember there was some guy in the Discord, and he was like saying, "Oh, I've invested 10 grand into it or whatever, but I reckon I can get another 5 grand if I borrow it off my cousin." And I was like, bro,
that's what I mean. Like,
don't be the guy who borrows $5,000 off their family to blow it on crypto. I mean, like, come on, man.
Like I think if you have to borrow money to even like buy a prop firm account, don't do it. Like, just wait and either do paper trading or do some demo trading. Just get comfortable with it and save up.
Like I said, man, like 10k for 40, right? You can for $40 you can get a 10k account. Just
and could so easily scale it up. You know?
Risk 0.25% per trade.
Yeah,
it will take you 3 months to blow that thing. Then spend another $40. Do you know what I mean? In a year, you've spent $120 on challenges. It's simple. Like you don't have to. You know, I do see people that have like blown. You know, they don't buy anything less than a 100k account, and they just blowing one and blowing one and blowing one. And like, it doesn't have to be like that. You know, it's like if you want to blow an account, guys, you might as well make it a 5k account. Right? Yeah,
I mean, with the whole blowing account thing, like I've blown plenty. Like I am not scared to blow an account.
I know, but I'll interject and say getting a payout and then blowing an account, getting a payout and blowing an account, getting a payout and account is not the same thing as going fail. Like you're just running at a brick wall and hoping it's going to break.
In that aspect, like if you can justify blowing accounts as long as you're making more than you're spending on accounts.
Yeah, that's just part of risk management.
Again,
really,
not probably a best approach to take it in, but like for some people it worked, clearly. I'm not pointing fingers.
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on people, but yeah, no, it is true that like there are some people that they appear more profitable on Instagram than they actually are, because they will post payout certificates, but they will not show their bank balance of how much money they have spent on challenges. It's great to see that like you actually have kind of come full circle and been in the risk management group and like learning proper risk management, all this stuff, that you've actually got to a stage now where you know you can actually find consistency, right? And then just it's just incredible. The only way is up from here. I could talk with you for probably like another hour, but I think we kind of need to cap it there.
Oh my God, oh Jesus Christ.
We will, honestly, but we will have to have you back when you've hit 300k in payouts or whatever. Your first million. We'll do the podcast on your yacht or whatever. But this has been fantastic. I know people are going to find it very interesting and inspirational, as I have. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for tuning in. If you enjoyed this podcast, leave a comment below and tell Greta how great she's doing. Leave a like, subscribe, and do the notification thing. And just stay tuned for a more amazing podcast just like this one.